Emergency Alert by TheCrystalGem. Liz and I have been talking. She knows it, I know it. This can't work forever. The people at Mew will never stop looking for her until she's found. Sure, I can take care of McLean, Sloan, Jones, Kowalski if necessary. But I'm certain they have more manpower, and who knows, the other experiments might not be as kind as Liz. We just gave the radio a try. Nothing much, really. But we now have a time frame for the arrival of the officers. Kowalski? Sloan here. Over. Sloan, hey, have you and McLean left for Withheld yet? Over. Yes, we'll be there in about 2 hours. Over. Well, I just left as well. I'll be there in 1.5. Over. Well, tell us where you have and have not searched when we get there. We need to shut this down today. Over. And Jones, has he left? Over. Not yet. He probably won't be there for another 3 or so. Anyway, take care. Over and out. The dogs are safely walked away in my basement for now, but I'm trying to convince my brother to take them to his house until things blow over. I've told him about Liz being a normal person. He didn't believe me at first, but I think he's coming around. Right now she's wearing a grey hoodie of mine over jeans, dark red Converse, a white Marvel t-shirt with a black Venom insignia. I don't think they'll be able to identify her without giving her a second glance. A lot of you have been asking about the gun I found across the street. I did a little research, and the closest look-alike I found on Google Images was a Remington 870. I checked around my neighbor's house for more shells like some of you suggested, and I found about 4 more, plus 2 more full power banks. I didn't do a very thorough check, though, because we're on a bit of a deadline right now. Okay, my brother just got back to me. He'll take the dogs. He's still confused, but he'll totally back me up if I need him to, when officers friendly, smile, and joyful show up. I'm not worried about running out of shells. If need be, Liz can probably make their heads explode or something. But I'd rather she didn't have to, because that would be difficult to explain to the authorities, especially when the authorities know about 013. I'm getting ready to fight. I really can't see more than one update after this. I think today it will be all over. I hope Liz makes it out of this okay. But it'll be a hell of a lot of work to keep them from her. If she's to be free, either everyone in Mew must die, or she'll have to go on the run for real. In Mexico, maybe, or Canada. Canada's closer, so that before Mexico. Although maybe if Whitfield dies, the others will leave her alone. I don't know. It's been about 45 minutes since we listened to the radio. Kowalski should be here in 45 more. Liz had a bright idea too. What if we left a note for him? We found some sidewalk chalk in the basement, and we took it out to the street and wrote 002 in large letters. When the others show up, either we can wash it off with a hose, or some rain, courtesy of Liz. But I think it's a good idea. What if Kowalski wants to fight just as little as we do? Okay. 15 more minutes have passed. I'm getting really anxious. I think we should do one more sweep for supplies. Okay. We went back across the street and picked up a machete and a small revolver. I put the revolver in my pocket for now. I might give it to Liz, even though I doubt she'll need it, and put the machete on my back. I don't know why all the other neighbors are being quiet. Should I give them a warning? I asked Liz if she killed them too. She said no. My brother showed up and got the dogs. Here, I'll give you the gist of the conversation. Holy fuck, Sheen. What? I asked him. You aren't enlisting in the military, you don't need a fucking arsenal. You want one? I asked. Fuck no. I'm serious, I said. You might need it. These people are going to check all the houses on the block, probably. I am good, he said, turning to Liz. So you're the one who kept walking around outside. Yes, Liz replied. What's going on? He asked me. Are we involved in some messed up government experience or some shit? Well, frankly, yes, I told him. You got our back? Of course, he said. But I better not go to jail for this, buddy. Jim, calm your ass down, I said, motioning for him to calm down. Just take the dogs to your place. Maybe come back here and be ready for a fight. Okay, he said, calming down slightly. Okay. Okay, hurry up, I said as he ran into the basement to get the dogs. A few minutes later, he was pulling out of the driveway. Your brother seems nice, Liz said. He's an ass, but you'll get used to it. 15 minutes to go, he came back, I handed him the machete when he refused the revolver. I offered the revolver to Liz, but she said she wouldn't need it. I agreed. I have my kitchen knife too, in my other pocket. We all have one of those, actually. Also, I forgot to mention that the revolver had a full cylinder. Okay. In 5 minutes, Kowalski should be passing by. I'm really nervous now, but I should be okay. I don't think he'll be a problem. Okay, Kowalski showed up. I'm looking through the window at him. He's looking at the chalk message, and he looks like he's getting worried, nervous, confused, whatever. He just saw me. Okay, I'm back. I went outside with a shotgun in my hand, and he took several steps back, his hands up. I questioned him a little, and he admitted to killing the real Kowalski. Then Liz came out. We checked him, took a handgun off of him, I'll try to figure out what kind, and took him into the basement to tie him up. He's currently sitting across from me, bound and gagged. My brother pale as a sheet. We just kidnapped a guy, he muttered. We're probably about to kill a few more, I said, so buckle up. I noticed the insignia on his lapel, Mew, written in white against the dark gray fabric of his shirt. I decided to go wait behind my dead neighbor's house for McLean and Sloan. Liz and my brother Jim, I don't know if I said his name yet, waited at the house. Okay, they're here. They just got out of the car, but there's 4 of them. McLean is a guy of average height and brown hair, moderately built. Sloan is a slightly short woman with black hair and a ponytail. The other 2 are both tall and of average build. One with blonde hair and one with black, both male. One of the big guys just came my way. Sloan and McLean are walking in my house's general area. The other big guy is walking down the street away from me. I'm going to put my phone down. Okay, guys, I just shot the guy. He came around and saw me, and before he could take out his gun, I shot him with the shotgun. McLean and the other big guy were both in houses, but Sloan was outside, so she saw him fall. Although they probably all heard the shotgun. My ears ringing, I stood up and got ready to run, shaky from the fact that I now had this man's blood metaphorically on my hands. I shot at Sloan but missed, and she caught up with me as I was running. I shot her in the thigh and she fell over, but sat up and started shooting at me. McLean must have decided to stay put, and the other big guy was nowhere to be seen, so I crouched down behind the nearest house, Sloan crying out in pain. Why? She asked me, looking at me angrily. You asshole! You can't have O13, I said. I know what you're doing in that place. I'm a police officer, she said. But then why does your shirt say Mew, and why do you keep saying over on the radio? All cops say over, she said. I used to think so too. Look, I don't care if O13 gets captured, but I need to do my job. I'm giving you an out, I said. Stay quiet, lie low, and let me take care of it. She was looking behind me. I turned around as big guy, numero dos, came around the corner of the house with a gun in his hand. I took out my knife and stuck it in his shoulder. He fell over and I got on him, sticking it between his ribs. I don't want to do this, I said. He fell limp, and I looked at Sloan. If you can't call them off, nothing can be done. If it's something that can be stopped, then stop it. Through her radio, I heard a voice. This is Professor Whitfield to Officer Sloan. I will be there shortly with Jones. In due time. Over. I took the shotgun, hit her with the barrel, and knocked her unconscious, my head swimming. Guys, this is the last one. For some of you, this is good news. For me, it is too. A lot has happened since the last update, which I admittedly ended quite abruptly. To make things easier, I'll pick up from where I left off. Sloane's walkie-talkie continued to crackle after she slumped over on the ground, but no more words came through. I took out my phone and called Jim. Sheen, hey, what happened? I just killed 2 of them, man. One of them's out cold, I said shakily. Fuck, what did you do that for? I didn't have a choice, I said. They jumped me, man. It's not why I called. Tell Liz that Whitfield's on the way. The fuck? Just tell her. How's Kowalski doing? All right, considering he's tied up. Okay, I said. Stay put. I'm going to see if I can find McLean. I hung up the phone and put it in my pocket, shuffling around the house, my eyes scanning for any sign of McLean. Sloan? Someone called from somewhere to my left. Must be McLean. I remained silent and looked around for the source of his voice. I estimate that we will be there within 15 minutes, Whitfield said curtly through Sloane's radio. Over. Fuck, I muttered. Sloan, McLean repeated. You alright? I sprinted across a backyard and crouched behind a bird fountain. Sloan? Hello? I could hear his voice getting closer. Finally, I could see him nervously inching closer to me. I stood up to move, his eyes locked onto mine. He drew his pistol and fired. The bullet whirred by my shoulder, and I ran, cocking the shotgun and firing it in McLean's direction. I missed, and he came running at me. I cocked the gun again and fired, but only a few balls of birdshot landed in his left arm. Fuck! He cried, clutching his arm. Stop running, you fucker! Get out of here, I said. I know what you're trying to do here. Oh yeah? And what will you do about it? Kill me? Kill fucking Whitfield? Good luck with that one, pal. What did you do to Sloan? She's unconscious, I said, but alive. At least until you put down the fucking gun. You're one to talk, he said. Drop it. I lowered my gun, and he lowered his. You're treading on thin ice, prick, he said. If you don't stop, you're going to have to face Whitfield in the flesh, and you'll find he isn't as understanding as me. Now where are Maloney and Schmidt? Kowalski? Big guys, I asked. Dead. Kowalski, too. I'm sorry, they drew on me. Fuck, McLean said, raising his gun again. How do I know you're telling the truth? I know where 013 is. But I won't tell you, because I know what's going on in that place. I read the transcript of the first couple of days 03 was in there. Fuck you get that, he asked. It got put on that bullshit emergency alert message. If I had to guess, she put it there to discredit you guys. Whatever you read, you have to believe me. 013 is dangerous, okay? It's not like you aren't. Look, kid, put your gun down. I won't hurt you, but you need to let me know where 013 is. I'm not dropping my gun, I said. But she's in there. I pointed to my dead neighbor's house. For real? He asked. You're not playing me? No, I said. I'm being honest. Okay, he said. He turned around to enter the house. Okay, I'm trusting you here. I nodded. Be careful, man. I know what I'm doing. While his back was turned, I quietly started backing away. You know what? McLean said. I'm not going to turn my back on a guy with a gun in his hands, so why don't you put that shit down? Huh? Okay, I said, dropping the shotgun. Thank you, McLean said in exasperation, turning around as I continued to back up. Now you stay put so I don't have to do something rash. Yeah, I said, continuing to back up. You hear that? He asked, turning around. I asked. A car, he said. I listened for the noise in question, and I found it. Tires on gravel. I turned around and saw a car pulling into a driveway 3 houses down from my house. That's probably Whitfield, McLean said. I advise you to act on your best behavior, kid, else you're going to have a bad time. McLean, said the man in the passenger seat of the car as he opened his door. Who's the kid? Civilian, McLean said. Kill the others, except Sloan. Oh, fuck Christ. McLean, you're not cuffing him? What's going on here? Whitfield asked, exiting the vehicle. I studied Jones to Whitfield. Whitfield was tall with long gray hair and a slightly wrinkled face. Jones was tall as well, but with short cropped hair and a strong jaw. He's saying this guy killed the others, boss. Listen, McLean said. He says 013's hiding over there. He pointed to the house I had tipped him off on. Whitfield closed his eyes, focusing, it seemed, on something. No, he said. What? Jones asked. You lying? McLean asked me. No, I said, I swear. Yes, you are, Whitfield said, opening his eyes and pointing to my house. I can sense her from this distance, and she is in there. Well, I said, I thought she was in the other one. McLean, came a voice in the distance. Jones! Whitfield! Sloan, I thought. Fuck. Jones ran off towards Sloan's cries, and Whitfield and McLean turned toward me. So, McLean said, this kid says he knows about you. Does he? Whitfield asked. Well, something will have to be done, won't it? Give me his gun. Sir, are you certain? McLean asked. Yes, McLean. Now give me his gun. We don't have all day. The sweepers will be here soon to wipe out the town. The copies will be placed shortly thereafter. Now give me that gun. Sir, he may be of some assistance, with the cloning. He knows too much to live, Whitfield said as my heart pounded in my chest. Pick it up and give it to me. McLean swallowed hard and bent over to pick up the gun. He grasped it in his hands and stood up straight again. Fine then. With a crash, our living room window exploded across the street, bursting into a million tiny fragments and sending long, jagged blades of glass soaring through the air. One sliced through McLean's neck, bringing him to his knees and then to his stomach, as blood spurted from the cut. Another lodged itself firmly in Whitfield's back. Well, Whitfield said as McLean withered on the ground. That's unfortunate. I bent down, pried my gun from McLean's head, trying to ignore his gurgling, and aimed it at Whitfield. I pulled the trigger, and birdshot erupted into his body. "You insufferable child!" he cried, turning to face my house as he pulled the glass out of his back. "Escaping the lab will be the last thing you ever did, and you," he turned to me, "why don't you give me that gun?" The bullet holes in his body were beginning to cover themselves. I fired again, and this time his face met lead. Skin gone, giving way to bone and muscles. "Give me that gun, you fuck!" With a flick of his wrist, he beckoned the gun towards him, and I left my hands for his. "Now, boy, we'll meet your maker." He cocked the gun and prepared to fire. 013 ran out of my open doorway before the door hit the wall and reached out for a telephone pole. It uprooted itself and went flying at Whitfield. It cracked over his head and fell onto the ground in 2 pieces. He moved the barrel of the gun away from me and fired at 013. Liz fell to the pavement in tatters. "Fuck!" I shouted, "you asshole!" "What?" he asked. "Did you really think you were going to win? You, along with, let me guess, your brother and a runaway freak? Please. We have more power than you could ever dream of, and you owe everything you have, ironically, to us. We are responsible for your creation, every single one of you. All using the same original entity as a base. Even I owe everything to the immeasurable 000. I reached for my kitchen knife and found it in my pocket. I grasped it in a reverse grip and ran blindly forward. "Don't you understand?" he asked, pushing me onto the ground with his mind. "This story has no happy ending." He took my knife and threw it over his shoulder, blood still pouring from the holes in his head. "I could kill you now, but I want you to see what I mean. You'll see the sweepers come through. You'll see how they erase this town completely. It will be as though it never existed, and then a week or so later, the clones will take over, and nobody will know the difference." I tried to sit up, but he kicked me in the chest and set me onto my back. "Goodbye, Sheen withheld. You will not be missed. Jones, get Sloan. Let's get out of here. The deed is done." I stood up only when their car was leaving the block. I limped towards my house, stepping over Liz's lifeless body and knocking on the basement door. "Jim, get the dogs. We need to leave." People were starting to leave their homes when we left. I advised them to evacuate. Many of them did. The others, as of me writing this, are probably most likely dead or imprisoned. We've been on the road since we left. We managed to get into the next state so far. We took the dogs and our necessary items, as well as a few luxuries and stuff. We're both totally messed up from what happened, and we haven't mentioned Liz once since leaving. There won't be any more updates after this. This is the last one. Thank all of you for staying with me through this. I know it fell apart towards the end, but it is what it is. I don't know what comes next for us, but it won't be easy. The alert was finally taken off my phone. For a while, that is. While sitting in a Wendy's parking lot and waiting for Jim to get back, I received another alert. This one was different, to say the least. Emergency alert. I am informally issuing an emergency alert for the following counties. Withheld. Citizens should be wary of all government officials. This town will be swept of survivors with clear memories of recent events. Nobody is safe here. I advise you all to leave as soon as you can. Do not talk to any police officers if their uniforms are marked blue. They are not police officers. Effective indefinitely. Do not go to Withheld County. It is not safe there. I wish you all good lives, and bid you adieu. For as long as you remember this, assume I'm alive.